Alright, so I am here on my porch again, and it's about 9:30, and I'm a night owl, so this is one of my favorite times of day, and I love sitting out here. I am somewhat in sensory overload this week. On Tuesday I really crashed, and then yesterday afternoon I was doing okay, and last night, and then earlier today I was really exhausted, and I took a nap, and then I was doing okay, and then I was on the computer for a couple hours, and then now it's like, oh, okay, here's what's coming back. Sensory overload goes with ME, and it's one of the symptoms that I didn't used to have. It's like, because I'm in the more severe category now, it definitely shows up when I crash. And so I have my lovely active noise canceling earbuds, which means that they don't have to be connected to anything to be noise canceling, which is really cool. Like, they don't have to be connected to your phone because you charge them individually. And then these can go over the earbuds, which is why I got earbuds instead of headphones for those. And then I've got my sunglasses on, stunner shades. So that's actually for a reason. Otherwise I wouldn't have them on at night. But the thing is that I just have been really doing a lot, and it has not been because I wasn't trying to be diligent about being resting enough, just because there's been too much going on with trying to get enough help and it not working. So now I am got the next couple weeks set up, and I talked to my aunt, and we're gonna try to just chill out for a couple weeks, and then work more on creating new stuff. And one of the reasons is that basically in, a day, I only have a certain amount of energy, and I have come to realize that I really have to be careful of that and choose where I put that energy, and not do more than that, or else I'll crash. And if I go like a couple weeks and just really rest a lot, then when I have a bad day, I won't go into sensory overload. Right now I'm so on the edge of like where I've just been pushing it that it's like today I even took a nap for 2 hours, and I still am just like, barely on the edge. If I stood up and went to the kitchen and got some other stuff, and it was like I felt worse, and it's just like, wow, like it's that much counts. And after this I'm going to be quiet and rest here just doing nothing, which is not something I like to do. I actually am somebody who is very motivated and mentally active, and would like to be physically active. So, oh gosh, Danny, what I wanted to say is that I kind of created my own scale for this, and it's like, I actually have it on my phone and I keep track of it, but if somebody doesn't want to be quite as scientific about it, you don't have to. But the idea is that there are different categories of exertion, which is the term that's usually used when you're talking about ME, because it doesn't just mean like doing something, it means anything that's using your energy, because it can be in such different ways. And so the categories that I decided were important, and they all have the same importance, are like physical, mental, emotional, social, stress, because that's kind of its own thing. I mean, you really like spend a lot of energy if you're stressed. And household exertion, because doing little things around the house, if I cannot do that and have my caregiver do those things as much as possible, I take out those points, and I can do something else, which is like so nice to do anything else. A day that my caregiver's not here, those go up, and I have to take something out of the other categories, or I'm going to overdo it. And then the last one is difficulty level of exertion, because today, doing the same thing as 4 days ago, this is much harder because I'm already almost crashed all the way. And that really needs to count. So it's like 35 points, and out of that, I've discovered I need to be at 20 or below. So if that gives you some idea of how much I have to pace myself, which is the other word that's used a lot when discussing exertion and ME, where like, you know, just do a little, and I have to look at it and every day and be like, okay, I've done all I get to do, and that's really hard. And I've been over 20 for the last 2 weeks every day, which is why I'm crashed. So it's like I've at least learned how to kind of manage it and know what's going on, and like if I can stay at 20 or below every day, I'll have the same amount of energy and I can keep going and I won't crash. But that is very hard to do. It requires such discipline, and it requires being very dedicated, and also just like being willing. The hard part is like on a day that there's too much in the categories of like stress and household exertion, I don't get to be social or, you know, do anything like go out in my wheelchair on a stroll, because I'm already using up all my energy doing other stuff. So my biggest goal is always to get the household exertion down, to get the stress exertion down, and get the difficulty level of exertion down so that I can have more in the social and mental and physical categories. Emotional kind of is both ways, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But that's kind of my ideas, and that's how I do it. And if you're interested in what kind of crashing is from ME, which is myalgic encephalomyelitis, it's called postexertional malaise, and I will leave a link for that. And I'll leave a link for these. I'm not, you know, trying to promote them, but just so you know what I'm talking about with the noise canceling earbuds, because I have used these a ton. Like even going out when I'm like almost in sensory overload and I had to go out, I will wear these, and it just takes off that edge of noise that, especially like fans and stuff, which when I start to get in sensory overload, that is like really troublesome. And yeah, so hopefully that'll be helpful.